In this tutorial, I'm going to be using Claude Code. I'm going to use the Figma MCP server, and I'm going to use that to implement a design with nothing but a prompt. So the ingredients you will need is that you will need Claude Code installed, so you can copy paste this command here and install it. And what that will give you is that if you open your terminal and you hit the Claude or you use the Claude command, then you will see Claude Code launching, in this case with Sonnet 4.5. And mine is already set up. You will likely have to authorize Claude and go through a few steps. But in the end, you should be presented with this Claude Code, which is basically an LLM that can read local files and make adjustments. So what we have in our local files here is an index.html file, and it's an empty file. So I'm going to give it a command. Please put a basic HTML5 structure inside of. And then I'm going to stop with dictating, and I'm going to do add index.html. So using the add to reference files is very powerful in larger projects. So if I do that, Claude will do its thing. In this case, it's wibbling. Sometimes it's fermenting. It has all these funny verbs while it's thinking and doing its thing. And it's going to ask you, do you want to overwrite this file? And I'm going to say, yes, allow all edits during this session. So in this case, we see that the 12 lines of HTML that it generated are now here inside of my index.html. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run a simple Python server. And why am I doing this? Because later on, it will be easier to see the different pages. So right now, you can see that my page doesn't really contain anything. So if I type hello world here and refresh, we will see that it shows up. Now, what I'm going to do in this series of videos, and this is the first one, is that I'm going to implement begamer.net. So I'll give you some context about this project, not too much, but the idea is to make a publication called begamer.net. And I'm not sure if this is going to be like a real project, because I don't think I will have the time to run a gaming site. But for now, it's kind of like a demo project where I made wireframes, I played some games, and I wrote some half reviews about like games that I'm playing. And I'm going to use this project as a way to document my journey of getting to a full-on web application. So if you look here, for example, on the right side, and this is all like very wireframey, right? I should have should make this a bit more pretty and more complete. But basically, we have this wireframe of a CMS, and we have this wireframe of a public website. And the goal is to make this like a real working website. And one of the things that I'm documenting today, or that I'm making a tutorial about today, is how do we start implementing, right? So we have nothing here, and we want to get to HTML and CSS templates that we can later use to add like the backend functionality. So let's start with this page, begamer.net, like the about page. And I'll go into my tab where I have Claude Code, and I'm going to give it a specific command to implement this page. So please implement the selected Figma frame. And I've learned that with the official Figma MCP, I actually have to give the URL. Please implement the frame at Figma URL. In standard HTML and CSS, please don't use any frameworks. Okay, so we're gonna see what it will do. And what it's gonna do is using the MCP server to get a screenshot, to get like details about the design, to get to an implementation. And I don't think we want React, so I specifically asked it to not use any frameworks, and then it's starting with React. So sometimes you get this stuff. I don't know why it's suddenly starting to talk about React, but we can ignore it because it's actually gonna convert it to a plain HTML structure. It's also writing the CSS styles and updating the index.html. So it made like a little to-do list for itself. and it's working out. Like, what should the design look like? And this is sometimes a bit tedious, that it takes a while. So you could, like what some people do is run all these sessions in parallel. So they will go on and create like different Claude Code sessions and run like 5 or 8 terminal tabs at the same time. So let's see what it did. Let's go into the code. And the first thing I don't like is that this is a style tag. So I'm already gonna ask, can you move the style tag into a separate screen.css file? Not SCSS, just CSS, okay? I also don't like that it called it like newsletter button, but it's just a detail, so that seems fine. So let's look at the actual result, right? Let's look at what's going on here. So we have a website here. We have a working website. It's not responsive, but I also didn't give it like a responsive design, right? So this is something that I will note as a to-do. Make the responsive mobile version. Later, we can then give that responsive version as a reference to the MCP server. So at this point, we have a page, right? So let's just roll with it, you know, like let's just go to the next page. So we will copy the link and we will be like, please move the current index.html page to an about page, about.html. Empty the current index.html page to make place for implementing this design. And then I will paste the Figma link. So I'm giving it two tasks at once. So it has to move the index.html to about.html, has to get the design from Figma for the home page, and then implement the new design in index.html. So that seems about right. So let's see what it's doing, right? It's probably gonna take a while, but I can already see there are different files. Let's see when it's done. He's still thinking, so it didn't do its thing yet. So the thing is, you can only see the result of what it's doing when it's really finished. So until it's finished, you will not see a change. So you have to be patient, but then maybe I will fast forward this video and see when it's done. Say they have been replaced by an AI, that's what they're talking about, right? Like this task took 90 seconds to implement, but let's see what we have now. Okay, so it even took the images. I haven't seen that before, like that. It even took the images from the implementation. That is nice. Did it put the images in a folder though? Like their images are like referenced from the Figma API. So let's see, let's look into the browser. And so it's also 2.4 megabytes for like the whole image. So that's gonna need some optimization, but this is really cool. We have the home page and we have the about page, but they're not linked up. So let's make that a new task. In the header section, please link over pgamer to the about.html page. Okay, so now I'm already running into the problem that I have like multiple headers, right? I have a header here, and then the index.html, I also have a header. So I don't like that duplicate code. So I would like to convert this to an 11t project. I'm just gonna keep vibe coding, and I'm gonna put that on the to-do list. So please convert this project to an 11t project. And if you don't know what 11t is, it is a static site generator where you can use lots of different types of template languages. And we have to choose a template language. So I guess it would be good to give it some guidance on a template language. And I'm just gonna look into which template language I used for the website of Screenshot to Layout, right? So let's see, marketing website. And in this case, I used Liquid. Okay, so Liquid. When you set up the layouts, can you use Liquid as a templating language? So I'm going to try to make it use Liquid, and I'm just going to move this to another screen, and maybe I will reference this code if I need it. But basically, it made a package.json for us where we have 11t with the start command. We have a hopefully recent version of 11t, so let's check that out on npm. That is not the latest version, so probably we should just change that 3.1.2. Then we should probably update the dependencies. So let's see. Okay, and let's see if it works, like if that command is still the same, npm run start. So that's copying into site. That seems to work. Okay, and it's 88, so we don't need our Python server anymore. We're going to use the server from 11t. So let's see. We are, like, it's still working. It's still doing its whole conversion. So it has an about.liquid here. It has an index.liquid. It has a CSS. It has a general layout. That's great. And in the general layout, we see we now have deduplicated the fact that we have like 2 headers and 2 footers, which is great. And just for cleanliness, I would like to put the header, the footer, and the newsletter section into an include section. So I will prompt 11t to do that. Please make a _includes folder and put the header, newsletter, and footer sections of the base layout as separate files in that folder, and please reference them in the main layout as includes. So what it's going to do, like what I instructed it to do, is to look into making separate files from the header, the newsletter, and the footer. So we have the includes. It made the folder, and it's now going to move like these 3 things to the folder. I don't really love this header divider here, so I'm going to look into what that is. And that seems like a horrible way to implement a border on a header. So that is sometimes the problem with the vibe coding, is that you get things that are not good, like a fixed height on the header, like this magic number here, which is probably also in the Figma file. So somebody is going to have to look into that and fix that code at some point. That is already some technical debt from day one. But I think when you see something, then you can already fix it, right? So I can delete this. I can go into the header.liquid now, and I can remove this header divider. And then I can also just go back, not in the site CSS, but in the source. I can just put like my own border on there, right? Like this. And the thing is that if you start editing files yourself while Claude is running, they might touch something that you just edited. But in this case, I think it was separate from the change. So let's see what's going on. The server is not running, but now it is. And we also have this link between the about page and the home page. So the next thing I want to figure out is like how to get these files like local. And I'm going to make a little to-do here to keep thinking about my project. I'm going to make it a markdown file, and I will be like, move the Figma files locally. Figure out how. So I need to find like an automated way to get the Figma files locally. But you know what? Let's just try and ask Claude like how to do that. Currently, the images are Figma files. Please download these images and put them locally in an images folder. They're not really Figma files, they are links to a Figma MCP destination on the web. I don't know if this is going to work, right? This is just experimental, but let's see. finagling. I like that. Finagling. So it's going to create an images folder. That seems good. It's going to download the images to local storage. That also seems sensible. I have to give some feedback. So how is Claude Code doing? I would say fine. And it's actually downloading these images. That's great. So we have Outer Worlds 2, we have Age of Empires 4, Dispatch. Like, you know how annoying it is to do this manually. So this is great. And it's even thinking about that the images need to be passed through. So the way that 11t works is that you have a source folder and you have a site folder. And we need to add a pass-through copy so that this folder always gets copied to this folder, which it just did, and that is great. And the last thing it's gonna do is to change the image path. So right now we still reference Figma, but what just changed is that it references the local image. So that is super great. Let's maybe, I don't think we have liquid here, but let's see. We don't have any liquid, but let's just do like Shopify, or there should be some template language that is kind of like liquid. I'll just put HTML for now to have some syntax highlighting. What's the next step? I think we should just continue our implementation. So let's just move to the next page. And then I will copy the link again, and I will ask Claude, like, please implement an example review page. Reviews should be stored under the reviews route. In this case, we are implementing the review of a PC game called Dispatch. Please reference the following design inside of Figma. Whenever you can, move images locally as a last step. So it's quite a lot, right? I'm giving it a couple of things to do, and I wonder like what it will do automatically. So if we look at the home page, would it automatically link the Dispatch review? Would it create like a decent folder structure? Would it implement the page correctly? So if we look at the design, we have some tags, we have a couple of screenshots, we have these tech comments and fact sheet boxes that are actually quite ugly right now, but that's because this was not meant to be a design, but more like a wireframe. So it's doing its thing, right? It's getting the review page design from Figma, creating the reviews directory structure, adding the CSS styles, creating the page, and downloading and saving the images. So the first thing it's doing is creating the CSS. So let's just look into the CSS and see if there's stuff that we like and stuff that we don't like. And I'm gonna make this kind of like Claude.md, and I'm gonna try to give it some guidance, right? So CSS, I'm gonna be like, please use hex codes, capitalized, and with shorthand where possible. So that's for colors. And what else? Avoid using fixed heights. Avoid using fixed heights. So I'm going to remove that fixed height myself. Actually, you should also avoid using fixed widths. So I'm going to do that because it's going to be a problem later for our responsive logic. Prefer using padding to denote layout areas. Well, we're gonna tackle that later. It seems like our server is or our LLM is finishing up, so I'm curious to check the result. I cannot click here yet. I do see that we have reviews and we have dispatch. So let's see, reviews / dispatch. Okay, great. But I don't like how there's like a lot of empty lines. So let's look into the code and see like what's going on there. So it has a review body, and I don't really see like wrong code here. So I wonder where those lines are coming from. That seems okay. Review body P. That is a bit strange. I don't really see where they are coming from. I'll just remove all the CSS and see like what's going on here. So if I remove the CSS, there's like it looks good, right? There's not those empty lines don't exist. So if what I'm gonna do is like a bisect technique. I'm gonna remove like half of the CSS and see if the problem is there. And I see like if I remove half of the CSS, the problem is not there. So I know that the problem is created by this bottom half of the CSS. So we have line 239 to 556. So let's just do it like this, right? And now we see the problem. So that it's created inside of these lines. So let's just remove this review box P, and that doesn't seem to do it. I'm just gonna remove these lines and see if that fixes the problem. Nope. Gonna remove these lines. Cannot seem to fix the problem immediately, but it's somewhere at the bottom. So let's start reviewing like what we have here, right? So we have an image and it says like border radius 0, but why would we do that? Because we're never specifying another border radius. Also, the image is set to width 100, but that should really be in the CSS reset. So let's do like image, video, iframe, and let's just always make them 100% width. So in this case, we do not need the block anymore, I think. I also don't like this width. I will just do a percentage for now. And the gap, I will just make it 24 pixels. So let's see, 25 doesn't look right, so I'm gonna make it 35%. And then I'm going to look into what is this review fact sheet, grid fact sheet called. So that seems to be for here, right? The fact sheet. That seems good. Seems good. I'm just gonna make this like another color. We have the paragraph, we have the box. I think this might be good. Review body P, margin bottom 16 pixels. I don't know if we need that. Here, this is the guilty one, pre-wrap. We don't need pre-wrap. So we found a way to fix the bug. I'm actually gonna move this line height to the general logic of the body. And I don't love having a display flex here on the body, so I'm gonna remove this, and I'm already gonna put the background in the CSS style that we like. So let's see what this area in the header here that's going on. Like, why does the header container have this like 84 pixels? I don't know, but let's remove it. And at this point, we still don't have the responsiveness, but things are starting to look like a little bit complete and better. So let's probably also remove the fixed height from this info box. It has width for 20 pixels. We also don't want fixed width, so I'm just gonna change that to 25% for now and see what it does. We also have the featured section here with a gap of 70 pixels. And here we just want to use something like 64 pixels, for example. And we're gonna want to start removing like any kind of fixed widths that we see. Like, this is just the nature of implementing designs, that it thinks you will need a fixed width, but actually you don't, because that's gonna be in the way of responsiveness. So by removing all of this, we kind of still have like the same thing going on, same design. So let's see if we're not accidentally editing the wrong file, and that seems to be the case. We're accidentally editing the site file. So in 11t projects, it's probably good to ignore the underscore site. so it doesn't show up in in search results, so you don't get that problem that I just had. So let's go to the source and let's do that again, right? All those things that we were doing, they ended up not being saved. So I need to basically start adjusting here so that our things that we're doing are actually saved. I think the pre-wrap somehow, yeah, it did not get saved. So pre-wrap. So what we're doing now is removing all these fixed widths, right? Because we actually don't need them. We have to put the image and video tag again with 100. And for the header, we probably want to do something like padding 32 pixels. And later we might convert that to rem. So at this point, we're kind of like coding manually, right? Like we're not into the mode of like using the Figma MCP server and converting the design to HTML, CSS using Claude Code. We're more into like fixing the code that's part of Claude Code. Let's try something new. Let's put here like an HTML comment, and we will be like add to do, make the writer's wanted part a link. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some to-dos around the project. So I'm gonna be like in index, I'm gonna be like, I want to link this to the dispatch review, but that seems to already be the case. And I also want to make like an overview of the reviews page probably, but that doesn't exist yet in the designs. So I think I'm gonna end it here for this stream or this video. I hope this showed you what you can do with the different tools. It hopefully showed you that you still need some development knowledge to get things done, but that also there's a lot that can be automatically generated. Bye.